I've gone over to cardiac wing meetings. I think I have it under control. Working on the report for the staff requirements now. Listen, Rick, before we get into all that, I've been very concerned about my father since he had his last seizure. I'd really appreciate it if you could examine him. Fine. When? Well, I don't have my schedule. I'll have Kay call and make the time that's convenient to both of us. Are you saying it might be quite a while before you can fit him in? No, Alan, I'm saying that until I do get to see him, you have a fine cardiologist and Dr. Cunningham. He'll see him. I don't want Dr. Cunningham, Rick. Monica and I both chose you as my father's cardiologist because we think you're the best. And for that very same reason, I thought you were the best man to head the cardiac wing. I mean, we better get on the cardiac wing business before you change your mind. Something wrong, Rick. Look, I know you've canceled the last few days' surgery and you're turning over a lot of your patients to Dr. Cunningham, including my father. So I was just... Alan, Dr. Steve Hardy happens to be chief of staff at this hospital. He has approved my surgery schedule changes. Now, my patients are mine. If I want to turn them over to somebody else, that's my business. I don't want you throwing your money or your influence around here. Edward Quartermain, I don't care what his last name is, but he's a patient just like anybody else.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were alone. Hi, Ellen.
That's it. I'll talk to you about the wing later on, Rick. Believe me, I wasn't asking you any special favors or trying to put any pressure on you at all. Sorry I blew up like that.
Ellen, before you go, your mother called me a little while ago to tell me you'd finally set the date for Gail and me's party, and I told her, of course, we would be there.
Good. I'll talk to you later, Rick. What is all this about accepting an invitation?
Please, before we talk about that, I want to apologize to you for storming out of the house the way I did this morning. I never liked it when you did it to me, and so I feel doubly...
That's fine. I understand. Thank you. Now, what about the invitation?
Well, you heard what I said to Alan, the engagement party.
Yeah, well, I heard it. I can't quite believe it. Well, I think you would at least ask me.
Well, I felt sure that you would, of course, want to go, since they're such good friends of ours.
Well, Leslie, I think you would ask me. Well, what are you doing, arranging all our social schedule now? Hey, well, what does this fall under, the heading of keeping up appearances?
I don't know why you're so angry at me.
I'm angry because for weeks all I've been hearing is separate bedrooms, separate this, separate that. Now you want me to forget it? You want me to go to a party, put a smile on my face, and try to pretend that everything is fine. Then I come back home to my separate bedroom.
Rick, it isn't that important. It's just an invitation to a party.
It's important to me, Leslie. Because it's about the most dishonest thing I can think of doing. Now, I may be a lot of things on your list. Hypocrite is not one of them. Now, I have to seek Cunningham. Excuse me, please. Yes?
Well, what's the matter?
Nothing. Why?
Well, you're just looking at this rather oddly.
I'm sorry. I was just surprised to see you both here when I came in.
Well, Scotty was waiting for Lee. He's being examined by Dr. Lombard, and I told him he could wait and be in here.
Oh, that's fine. You don't need to give me an explanation.
Well, what are you doing here? I mean, I thought you were scheduled to have a meeting with Rick.
Well, I was, but the meeting ended rather abruptly.
Well, listen, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go find Lee and see if Dr. Lombard is through with him.
Okay, we'll see you, Scotty. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Talk to you later, Scotty. Oh, what's wrong? I mean, you seem terribly worried about something.
I am. I didn't want to get into it in front of Scotty.
Get into what?
Something Rick said confused and upset me a little bit. A lot, actually.
Well, what did he say?
Before we started our meeting, I happened to mention very casually to him that I wanted him to examine Dad just as soon as he had a chance. Well, he got very indignant and very upset.
Why?
I haven't the faintest idea. But there was open hostility there, Monica. He practically accused me of asking for special treatment for Dad. I tell you, it was the strangest reaction I'd ever seen, so I thought it was absolutely pointless to go on with the meeting now.
So what, you just canceled it?
No, luckily Leslie came in, so I just left. Can you imagine that kind of reaction from Rick? I mean, it was a simple request about Dad.
Well, yes. I mean, it is. That seemed a little strange, the way you tell it.
Monica, I'm telling it the way it was.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you are. And And Rick has been acting a little strange lately, but, well, I'm sure you can't take it as anything personal.
Well, how can I help it? Obviously, that reaction resulted from something much deeper that's bothering him. I mean, I don't believe for 1 minute that he thought that I was asking for preferential treatment for my father. But, you know, it's his attitude that really bothers me. I mean, he couldn't have cared less about talking about the cardiac wing, and he's going to be heading that wing up in a couple of months' time, Monica. And that, my dear girl, is serious.
I know it is, Alan, but you got to give him time. I mean, this is probably residual exhaustion from the weeks in quarantine.
Oh, Monica, please, not that again. There's got to be more to it than that. I mean, there was a definite undertone in the way he talked to me. Almost as if he resented me for something. But what?
Yeah, Alan, now that's foolish. You know better than that.
All right, maybe it is. I don't know how... What other way do you characterize it, Monica? I mean, the man was uncomfortable and edgy from the moment I walked in there. What possible reason could Rick have to react to me that way?
Yeah, the surgery was very successful, but, Rick, why did you turn it over to Cunningham? Well, no, all I heard was that you went home, you weren't feeling well. I mean, what's wrong? Look, Rick, hey, you have helped me through some pretty rough times in my life. I would like to repay the favor, and... Rick? Rick?
Hey, Dan. Dan, have you finished those cost accounting reports for me yet?
No, Alan, I haven't.
Look, Dan, I hate to press you, but I've got to get that stuff sent off to the hardware report so that the members can have a look at the figures before they come down for the meeting next week.
Oh, I appreciate that, Alan. But I can't finish it until I get the reports from Rick on the staff and equipment estimates. I don't have those yet.
Seems that everybody in the hospital's waiting on Rick today.
Well, Alan, you know, people do get sick, even doctors. And Rick wouldn't have left unless he felt it was absolutely necessary.
I know. Just happens to be it's a very unfortunate time.
You mean because of your meeting coming up with the Hardwick people next week?
Yes, Steve, that's right. Look, I'd like to talk to you about that, if I may, just for a minute, particularly where Rick is concerned.
Yes, of course. Why don't we go to the lounge? It'll be more private there.
Thanks. Excuse us, will you? Look, I'm a little bit concerned about Rick. I'm on the work with you.
Look, Dan, you know, Rick isn't going to let us down. I mean, well, his record is impeccable here. He's never missed surgery unless it's an absolute emergency.
I'm not questioning Rick's performance for 1 minute, Monica. If he's not feeling well, that's emergency enough.
Yes, of course it is.
Look, I'd like to just... Why don't you go back to the hospital before they wonder what happened to you, Liz?
I'm glad you're here.
Monica.
Is that, the report for Alan you're working on?
Trying to, yes.
I will be so relieved when it's finally in his hands.
Yes, I'm already aware that he was upset that he didn't get it when he expected. He's already talked to Steve about it.
I know that, Rick. That's why I was so worried when I talked to you on the phone. Worried about your future with the cardiac wing.
Look, if Ellen isn't happy with the way I'm doing things, he wants to get somebody else to run this cardiac wing. That's fine. That's just great.
Wait a minute. Don't even think things like that. You know how Alan feels about you. You know how much he respects your ability as a surgeon.
Well, all I'm getting now is pressure, and I don't like it.
Because he doesn't understand your sudden change of behavior. And I can explain it to him.
Why should you have to explain anything to him?
Because I can't go on defending you without making him suspicious.
Wait a minute. I don't need you to defend me or anybody else. Now, you're wasting my time. If I don't get this thing finished, I'll do it. Thanks.
Okay, there was another reason I came here to talk to you. I have a favor to ask of you.
What?
Please come to that party tonight with Leslie, please.
Monica, I already told Leslie no. Now, that's an end to it. I have got to finish this, or Steve and Alan both will be on my back.
But, Rick, Alan is getting suspicious. I know he is. I mean, he doesn't understand your behavior, or mine, for that matter, ever since that night. So things have got to look normal tonight, Rick. Or I don't know what he's going to think.
Well, that's between you and Alan.
No. That's just it. It isn't. You see, if Leslie shows up at that party without you, he's going to suspect there are problems between you two. The next obvious step is to tie it in with me and my behavior. And Alan isn't the only one I'm worried about.
Who else?
Well, Tracy will make sure that Alan thinks the worst if you don't come.
Well, why would she do that?
Because, Rick, she is out to make trouble for Alan and me. And if Leslie's there without you, it gives her a perfect opening.
Put me in a position like this.
Right, I have to. Look, you helped me save my marriage that night on the beach. Help me again. Please go to that party with Leslie tonight. Please?
All right, I'll go.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the...
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, Leslie, that's all right. I'm late for rounds anyway. Excuse me.
I'd like to talk to you for a few minutes.
I have to finish this report. It's late already.
Well, I'll try not to take any more of your time than is absolutely necessary. I have to talk to you, and since you won't talk to me at home, I have to do it here. I have to believe, no matter how much you may deny it, that what's going on with you right now is a direct result of what's going on with our marriage.
Leslie, please, I don't...
No, let me finish, please. When I came back, I told you that I had to find some way to come out of all of this, whole, complete woman with a true sense of myself, but I can't destroy you in the process.
We're not destroying you, Leslie.
I don't know what else to believe. I was always so proud of your talents as a surgeon and your dedication. All of that was so much a part of my love for you. I can't just stand by and watch you throw your whole career away, which is exactly what you're doing. And what about the cardiac wing? You fought so long and so hard against such incredible odds to win that appointment, and you did. You won, which you usually do. But how long do you think you're going to keep what you've won if you ignore your responsibilities as a doctor? Rick, why don't you answer me?
Because I don't think I really care anymore.
What?
Those things aren't important to me any longer.
They were your whole life before we drew apart.
Well, not now. Leslie, I understand. You're fighting for all your life to become a whole woman again. That's great. I want you to. I'm proud of you. But there's no more fight left in me. It's all gone. What was important before no longer is.
That really hurts. You said things to me before that have hurt, but you've always stood for me, for everything that was the very best in life, and to hear you say that none of that is important anymore, I think that hurts more than knowing how you feel about Monica.
Leslie, I'm sorry if I hurt you. I don't blame you if you hate me.
I don't hate you. I could never hate you. Don't you know that?
I don't feel very good about myself right now.
Oh, Rick, won't you... Well, I won't keep you any longer. I'm going to be leaving here early today to go home and change and get ready for the party. Since you refuse to go, I guess I probably won't see you before I leave the house.
Changed my mind. I'll be going.
What? But you were so dead set against it. I begged you to go. You absolutely refused. You said it would be dishonest. What would make you change your mind?
I just did.
Oh. Is that what you and Monica were talking about in here just now?
Yes.
I see. It was Monica who persuaded you. Well, I should have known.
I don't want to hurt you, Leslie, but you asked me, and I have to be honest with you.
Honest. I almost hate the sound of that word. And everything it stands for. I'm trying to...